I'm here with your Bible reading. I hope you guys are having a good day. Alright, today we're going to be continuing off where we left yesterday. And that'll be with Hebrews chapter 7, verse 18, reading through chapter 28, or verse 8. La 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 la. Chapter 7, verse 18 through 28. Starting the video and already can't talk. Not starting out good here. And then our psalm today will be Psalm 106, verses 1 through 12. And then ending today's Bible reading will be Proverbs chapter 27, verses 4, 5, and 6. So yesterday we were talking about Melchizedek and how Jesus is like Melchizedek. And that's where we're going to continue off today, where we left off there yesterday. And we will be reading in the New International Version if you'd like to follow along. Sure will not be joining us and following along today. I do not know where my notebook went. Sherm, stop. So let's get out our prayer book. We haven't done that in a while. We need to add someone to the list here. Very important. I need to mark some people off and we need to add. But we're going to get to that at the end of the Bible reading today. Alright. Put that there. Do you want more of my notebook? That bugs me. So it's right there. Another Yahoo update just popped up. It says, Air Force failed to register church shooter's domestic violence conviction in federal database, a move that could have prevented gun purchase. But if he wanted a gun bad enough, he would have got it somewhere, even if he had to have stolen it. Because what's stealing a gun if you're going to go out even to a church of all places and murder a bunch of people? The people that he killed ranged from age 5 to 72. He's dead now too. I guess the police shot him down last night. He was only 26. The guy that went into the church and shot all those people. And I think one of the women that was shot and killed was a pregnant lady. And like I said, they range from the ages of 5 to 72. It's just sick how somebody can even get that in their mind to want to do such a thing. If you was listening yesterday to the Bible reading, I was telling you how it's getting at the church where my aunt goes, where Sherm and I used to go and take our 2 oldest nieces and nephew. It sits right there on the highway, the church does, right along the highway. And it's the pastor that married Sherm and I. 2000, the year 2000. People that are on drugs come there wanting money, and the pastor gives it to them, but he stopped giving it to them when he found out, they were just on drugs and wanting to get drugs with it. He started giving them gift cards, and they got mad, and they come in there and they have a fit. you know, getting really angry, telling him they don't want gift cards, they want cash. Because they want to, you know, buy drugs with it. So much more to the story if he wasn't listening yesterday to the Bible reading. It's getting really dangerous there, and she's even afraid to go to church at night there on Sunday nights anymore. But she's really good friends with, you know, the pastor and his wife. He really needs to get a church somewhere else. Because, you know, he's had several churches. You know, he don't own that church or anything. But I don't think he wants to do that right now, anyways. I don't know what's going to happen, but I hope nothing bad happens. There's not that many people that go. But, you know, when you're on drugs, when people's on drugs, they don't care who they hurt. They don't even care if they hurt themselves. They don't care if they hurt their mother, their father, their own children. They don't care. They're just looking for whatever's going to get them that next high. That's all they're thinking about. They don't care who they hurt. They'll go right into that church and kill everybody if they have to, just to get $5. And it's heartbreaking. It's the devil. Those drugs are the devil. And this world is full of it. Full of it. I was watching one of the judge shows. I think it was Judge Mathis last week, or was it? Yeah, it was last week. And Judge Mathis could not believe it. He was shocked when a guy was on there talking about his mother who was in there suing him. And he sold drugs on the street. And it started out with him taking drugs, but then he started selling them. Because he had to sell them in order for him to be able to have money to get his next high. He said it's cheaper on the street to buy and use heroin than it is to buy oxycodone and Percocet, stuff like that. Heroin is a lot cheaper. And Judge Mathis could not believe it. He could not believe that heroin was cheaper than Percocet and stuff like that. But he said, oh yeah, it's a lot cheaper, heroin is. And you get a lot more high on it than you do the pills. And it's a lot cheaper to buy and sell. And there's so many people in our town, the town we've been to several times, like really close to us, really close to us. And it is so bad with heroin now. Now the heroin's kind of like, it was like really super bad, like, oh my gosh, it's heroin. Now it's like, oh, it's heroin. Now fentanyl, stuff like that, that's like way up there now. Heroin's like, oh, it's just heroin. And now it's like, fentanyl's the big one. I mean, the park is so nice. We always used to go to the park, you know, and everybody loved going to the park, feeding the ducks. And Dottie, she would love going to the park. Love that park. Have such good memories. Now they're always calling the police there because dopers, they'll just be laying there, collapsed on the ground. They're always calling the cops there and the ambulance there to shoot people up with that Narcan because they're like collapsed on the ground for overdosing. And they've got the fentanyl, and I guess they're like poisoning themselves with it without even realizing, you know. I guess that stuff's so dangerous you can't even get it on your skin because it can poison you. I don't know. They're called to the park all the time now. It's not even safe to go there anymore. It's sad. And you know, the devil just loves this. He loves it. Every time somebody sticks that needle in their arm or, you know, uses one of those fentanyl patches, however you use them, I don't know. But every time somebody buys one or sells one, just get their first fix, then they have to have another and another and another. He knows he's got them hooked, the devil does. And he smiles and laughs, because he knows there goes another life he's crashing down the drain. And he's telling God, there goes your soul. There goes your son or your daughter. Look at your child now. Evil laugh. Now they're mine. Don't go to the devil's side. Don't let the devil have you or your loved one. That high is not worth your soul. I wish we could get people to see that. I wish there was something we could do to get them to see that. But it's so hard to get through to them when they're addicted, because, like I said, they don't care about anybody or anything. All they care about is getting that next high. And they'll do anything to get it. It's heartbreaking. Something's got to be done. Something's got to be done. And it's getting closer and closer home, guys. I never thought it would be in the town right next to us, like it is now. I mean, it's bad. Bad. I could go on and on telling you about horrible things and stuff that's happened in that town and other places and people that I know and people that are related to me that have ended up dead and everything, murdered. But we won't talk about that. We're going to read the Bible reading, and hopefully somebody's watching and it'll touch their hearts. Maybe one day it'll touch someone's heart. These are not my words, these are God's words. I'm just reading them to you. These are not my words, these are not my own. These are the words of God. He wants me to read them to you, and that's what I'm doing. He wants you to hear them. So let's begin. The former regulation is set aside because it was weak and useless, for the law made nothing perfect, and a better hope is introduced by which we draw near to God. And it was not without an oath. Others became priests without an oath, but he became a priest with an oath, when God said to him, "The Lord has sworn, and will not change his mind. You are a priest forever." Because of this oath, Jesus has become the coordinator of a better covenant. Now there have been many of those priests since death prevented them from continuing in office. But because Jesus lives forever, he has a permanent priesthood. Therefore, he is able to save completely those who come to God through him, because he always lives to intercede for them. Such a high priest truly meets our need, one who is holy, blameless, pure, set apart from sinners, exalted above the heavens. Unlike the other high priests, he does not need to offer sacrifices day after day for his own sins and then for the sins of the people. He sacrificed for their sins once for all when he offered himself, when he was hung on the cross, when he gave his life for our sins, Jesus. For the law appoints as high priests men in all their weakness, but the oath which came after the law appointed the Son, Jesus, who has been made perfect forever. And that's where we're going to stop with the book of Hebrews today. That was Hebrews chapter 7, verses 18 through 28. Now we're going to start reading Psalm 106 with verses 1 through 12. Praise the Lord. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Amen. Thank everything for that. Blessed are those who act justly, who always do what is right. Remember me, Lord, when you show favor to your people. Come to my aid when you save them, that I may enjoy the prosperity of your chosen ones, that I may share in the joy of your nation and join your inheritance in giving praise. We have sinned even as our ancestors did. We have done wrong and acted wickedly. When our ancestors were in Egypt, they gave no thought to your miracles. They did not remember your many kindnesses, and they rebelled by the sea, the Red Sea. Yet he saved them for his name's sake, to make his mighty power known. He rebuked the Red Sea, and it dried up. He led them through the depths as through a desert. He saved them from the hand of the foe, from the hand of the enemy. He redeemed them. The waters covered their adversaries. Not one of them survived. Then they believed his promises and sang his praise. And that's where we're going to stop with Psalm 106, verses 1 through 12. That, of course, was talking about when God saved the Hebrews from the land of Egypt, when he put the plagues on them. And finally, Pharaoh let them go. You know, let my people go. When Moses and Aaron kept asking, Moses kept asking Pharaoh to let his people go. And God, lastly, had all the firstborn, even the animals of Egypt, killed, took their lives. Children, animals, all firstborn. And Pharaoh's firstborn son died. It didn't happen to the Hebrews because they smeared lamb's blood across their door frames, and that made death go over them, and death didn't stop at their doors. It didn't go in their house. So wherever the lamb's blood was not, then death entered and took the life of every firstborn. And that's when Pharaoh let them go, but then they chased after them. But God parted the Red Sea, sea like a big ocean, big ocean, a sea, parted it, parted the water, made it like dry desert, so the Hebrews could go through safely. This happened. They went through safely. And then when they were all through safely, all the Hebrews, all their animals, everything, they took with them. Then when the Egyptians were going after them, trying to chase through them, through the Red Sea, God put down all the water back in the sea again, and they all washed up. The Egyptians, they were killed. But when they were past there and, you know, saved from the Egyptians, they many times forgot what the Lord did for them, and they turned their backs on Him many times. Broke God's heart by forgetting Him, what He had done for them. And then when things got tough, they would ask for His forgiveness and remember what He had done for them. And He would always forgive them every single time. Every single time. Sometimes He put some of them to death. And the last straw was He was not going to let that generation enter His rest. He was not going to let them see the promised land, which is where they were headed, to the promised land. He was not going to let that generation see the promised land. So that's why they had to wander in the desert for 40 years, for that generation to die out. So that their kids, the next generation, would be the ones going into the promised land. That generation that treated God the way that they did would not be going in to see the promised land. But they treated God really bad. Really bad. If you just knew all the things that they did to Him, the way they turned their backs on Him. And you could find that in the book of Exodus, the second book of the Bible. That's where you could read all about Moses and everything, all of that. Alright, we're running short on time here, so let's read Proverbs. What's the time?
22:30.
Alright, Proverbs chapter 27, verses 4, 5, and 6. Anger is cruel and fury overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy? Better is open rebuke than hidden love. Wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. Alright guys, that was our Bible reading for today. I hope it touched your guys' hearts. Now, for the Bible readings, we don't got much time here, so I'm just going to read a few. And the very first one I want to ask you guys to pray about is somebody new we're adding to the list, and that is Luke Boggs. He is one of my very best friends' little boy. He's a little boy. Little Luke. Our sister in Christ, Bridget Boggs, her son Luke. We don't know what's wrong with him, but something's wrong with his leg. Something's wrong in there somewhere in his body that's making his bones, tendons, something not work right. And the doctors can't figure out what it is, and their tests, x-rays and stuff aren't showing anything. And they're acting like, you know, she's just making it up and everything when she tells them about it. And of course she's not. And his leg was stiffened up the other day. He just fell on the floor. Could not move his leg. Was screaming and crying in pain. Could not move his leg at all for 19 hours to get up to go to the bathroom or nothing. They finally got him up on the couch, and that's where he stayed, in that same position with his leg bent for 19 hours. Till it finally released, something in his leg released, and he cried and cried. Tears of happiness, that little boy. And he's a good little boy. And Bridget's a wonderful mother. If you knew what a good person she was and how good her kids are. please pray hard for Luke. Please pray hard for Luke. Something's wrong with that little boy. And I know it's really, really going to be tearing Bridget up. Because she's a wonderful, wonderful mother. And Luke's a very special little boy. So please pray for Luke Boggs, and please ask prayer for him from anybody you know and at your church. And please pray for April and Linda Thacker. Please pray for Norma Boyer. Please pray for Sherman Crabtree. Please pray for Michelle Boyer. Please pray for Jimmy Myers, Rhonda Karshner, Abby Myers, Norman Karshner, Debbie Lee, Kenny Wellman, Melody Ramey, Mindy Gallimore, all the homeless people and animals, Sammy, Paco, Garnet Boyer and Jim, Cara and Josh Newman, Josh Mollett, Vidalia Mercer, and all the Mollett family. Randy, Jody Mahorter, and their family. Margie and Chuck Sickles, Miranda and Jeremy Calvary. Margie Betts and Neil. Christopher Serback, his wife Sarah, and their unborn baby. Macy, Eric, Kaylee, Gabe, Toby, Kinsley and Olson, Cohen, Monty Knowles Jr. and family. Michelle Turner, Alicia and Kat, Ramona Henry, Tammy Ashworth, Ariana Lloyd, Roy Mollett, Shanna and her son Giovanni, Paris Jude and Susie Jude, she's not doing very good, Sandy and Rosie, and I believe that's it, guys.
Patty and Ernie Haynes.
No, Patty and Ernie Haynes. Yes, they need a lot of prayer right now as well. They were in my other book. They're not in here. I'm going to stick with, yeah, they're right there. It's so hard to read. Alright, guys. And please don't forget to ask prayer for Luke Boggs and Bridget Boggs. Luke really needs prayer. Alright, guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Let's bring those souls to Jesus, and God willing, we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another Bible reading. Bye, guys. God bless.